Hey guys, welcome to January's Outdoor Roundup video. I'm David Cobb from the Chattanooga Times Free Press, here with Gabby Chevalier from Get Out magazine. We are at the base of Raccoon Mountain here on some TVA land, and there is a reason for that actually. In January's Get Out magazine, which I had the chance to flip through last night, it's very thorough, a very good magazine this month. You had a feature on some of TVA's lands. What exactly does that mean?
Yeah.
You know, people know TVA, right? They do dams and they help with, you know, supplying hydroelectricity, but what, the TVA has lands too?
Well, in addition to all of their, you know, work that everyone knows them for, they also own, well, first of all, they own almost 300,000 acres of land in total, but almost 230,000 of those are public use lands, whether that's for hunting, for fishing, for biking, a wide variety of activities. And some of those lands are completely undeveloped and a lot of them are unmarked. So people aren't really aware that these lands are available to them. So I did kind of a little department, a little one-page spread, kind of looking at some of the best uses for those lands. And Raccoon Mountain is probably one of the better known of those lands, but there's also some really beautiful unmarked trails along Nickajack, and there are ways to find those. TVA actually developed this really extensive app that you can download on your phone, and it'll show you all of these lands, what they can be used for if you need to be concerned about hunters in the area. Hunters can call 411 to make sure that they're hunting in the proper places, and there are lots of lands that people can camp that are completely undeveloped or very minimally developed, that can create some really kind of beautiful, unique experiences that a lot of Chattanooga just doesn't know about.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. And being out here at Raccoon Mountain, the thing that really sticks out to me is it's just another example of how you can access the natural beauty of our area with a 15-minute drive. You know, I mean, you hop on the interstate, you go one or two exits, and here you are, and you feel like you're in the wilderness. You know, and for a lot of purposes you are, but at the same time you're still just a few miles away from downtown. So just another example of those things that make Chattanooga special. Come out here, check it out. Read Gabby's piece on the TVA lands in Get Out magazine this month. It's free. It's on stands. Like I said, I read through it last night. It's very thoroughly done. Is there anything else that sticks out to you from this month's magazine?
Yeah, absolutely. We had a guest piece by one of our authors, Lauren Dyer, and she is actually traveling, or was traveling across the country to Squamish, British Columbia. And so she's got a really great little mini series that the first part hit this month. The next part obviously will be next month, just kind of about her voyage and living out of her car, traveling across the country. So it was pretty great. And then Sunny Montgomery, our assistant editor, she did our
guest host last month.
Yeah, and last month's guest host, since I was not able to be here. She took a really great look at the national parks and kind of followed up on their 100th anniversary, their centennial that they celebrated last year, and kind of what that means, both good and bad, in terms of you know, popularity is great for national parks, but at the same time it can also really be detrimental to the preservation aspect and that component. So kind of a look at the good and the bad and the beautiful, as she called it. So check that out. Yeah. And you went a little bit further away than a 15-minute drive from downtown for most of your stuff this past month.
Yeah, I went up to Fall Creek Falls last week. You guys may have seen some coverage of it already, but it's something that I'm going to continue to look at. What they're looking at doing up there is privatizing a portion of the park's hospitality services. So what's in the works now is for the Fall Creek Falls Inn and Conference Center there at the state park to be demolished by the end of the year and rebuilt and managed by a private company. So it's a controversial topic, and it's something that I'm going to dive a little deeper into, planning on over the next few days. Going to look at what some other states in our area have done in terms of state park privatization. It's a polarizing issue. Some people saying that it's giving away state lands that belong to the public, and others saying that no, this is a more efficient use of state money and taxpayer money. So it's an interesting issue. I think it's an issue that people should be concerned about, you know, one way or the other, regardless of their stance. And so I'm going to try and continue to bring some coverage to that issue.
Well, and from my understanding, part of the concern too is that a lot of the local businesses in the area are kind of worried about what that impact will be, correct?
Yeah, there's a lot of elements to it. Local businesses could be impacted. So, you know, some of them are in favor of it, some of them are against it. So it's like, you know, it's a polarizing issue, and it's interesting because up there at Fall Creek Falls, it's a very rural area, and so there aren't a lot of other job opportunities for people who may be affected or laid off as a result of some of these changes. So definitely an issue to continue monitoring, and we'll be all over that in the paper at timesfreepress.com. So Gabby, anything else, or have we covered it?
Well, there's always more. Next month I'm actually working on a story kind of updating everyone on white nose syndrome and how research to kind of quell that and save the bat population is going. So there's actually some new exciting research out of New York that shows that some little brown bats there are surviving even with white nose syndrome, which for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's a fungal infection that pretty much just kills them while they're hibernating. And it spread really rapidly. It came from Europe and Asia, where bats don't really seem to have an issue with it. But here it's wiped out for certain bat species up to 99% across Tennessee over the past few years. So obviously incredibly detrimental to any future, and they really thought that extinction for some of these species was inevitable, but right now they're showing that these certain bats out of New York have been able to live with it. So what that means for long term in the future, they don't really know, but yeah, that'll be in February's Get Out.
All right, looking forward to reading that, and as always, thank you guys for watching. I'm David. This is Gabby. We'll see you next month.
Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, welcome to February's, it's January.
Off to a good start.
Where we are right now provides a bit of a challenge in skipping rocks because of the elevated bank. Skipping rocks is best done when you're on a similar elevation as the water on which you'll be skipping the rock. However, we are probably 5 to 6 feet above sea level here, which will present quite a challenge.
Sea level?
Here we go. I've got a nice flattened rock. And I did warm up a little bit before the video, so we're going to see how this goes. Here we go. That's a good example of how you don't want to skip a rock. However, I suspect that that's a...
Why'd you look at me? I don't know.